All right, so as Adonis Stevenson put on that beautiful performance last night, everyone's going to forget about the loser, and deservedly so. So Tavoris Cloud kind of goes off into the shadows, and the question is, what's next for Tavoris Cloud? What's next for his career? So I'm going to give him some free advice on what I think he should do, uh, even though he probably won't listen. But he should. This is for his best interest. Um, Tavares Cloud now coming off of these back-to-back losses, technically three losses if we count the Gabriel Campillo fight, basically has been looking extremely suspect. And his stock has completely fallen, man. His stock has completely fallen. This was a fight in which a lot of people were expecting an exciting fight. They were expecting at least a little bit of give and take, and it was a completely one-sided, dominating fight. I mean, how many times are we gonna watch this guy get dominated? Um, so once again, the question becomes, what's next for Tavares Cloud? Uh, and for me, here's the deal. I never really liked Tavares Cloud, but what Tavares Cloud has to do, man, he's got to become more of an exciting fighter. Okay, now usually I'm on the side of, okay, you need to do what you need to do to win the fight, and whatever you have to do to win the fight, just do that. But in his situation, which this is a special situation in which he's not able to secure the W over elite opposition, he needs to become exciting, else he's gonna be there's gonna be no point to watch this guy. He's really gonna become useless if he can't even put on an exciting fight. So unfortunately for him, he's gonna have to just start throwing caution to the wind, man. And recently, he's starting to remind me of a modern day Shane Mosley. Not a prime Shane Mosley, a modern day Shane Mosley, a Shane Mosley that's second guessing himself, can't pull the trigger. That's what this guy's starting to look like. I don't know if he has this thing where it's a lack of confidence, where he doesn't want to get hit back, or he's scared to throw, but that's kind of how it seemed against Adonis Stevenson. He was so scared to make mistakes in there that he was just getting lit up. Stevenson, it was just dropping his hands, taunting him at times because he completely broke Tavares Cloud's will. And that's the next thing. Mentally, this guy is so weak. He's so weak. I mean, if you could just literally get past the first couple of rounds, show him that his hits aren't affecting you. Get inside his head a little bit. Stevenson had the perfect game plan, man. I mean, by the time Stevenson started taunting Tavares Cloud early, it was a wrap. It was over because he was already broken. He didn't know what to do. There was no intimidation factor. And yeah, like I said, here's a guy who needs to start pulling the trigger more, making people think about his offense. Stop trying to sit there and not throw and worry about not getting caught because your defense is terrible and you're going to get caught anyway. So if you got to take one to give one, that's just what you're going to have to do, man. But right now, this guy is absolutely not must-see television. I mean, you see him and you want to turn your television off. So he's got to become more exciting, more fan-friendly. And the next thing too, don't sit there and try to fight a bunch of bums to build up your confidence, which we usually in these type of situations coming off of these losses, that's usually what these boxers want to do. But in Tavares Cloud's case, there's no point. There's no point in you fighting bums to try to build up your confidence because there's old lions in this light heavyweight division right now, and there's young lions, and you're gonna have to go through them. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to go through them, man. It's stacked, and you fighting bums when push comes to shove isn't gonna help you at all. So as far as I'm concerned, you got to get more marketable. Fight one of these other guys coming off of a loss, and put on a good fight. There's people, believe it or not, in a worse position than Cloud. I think Chad Dawson's a good example. Chad Dawson is probably one of the few people in this division who's in a worse position than Tavares Cloud. Fight Chad Dawson. I think that's a good fight in itself. I mean, somebody's got to win that fight and come out looking a little bit better. So I think that's a good fight for Cloud. Possibly trying to go fight Chad Dawson, man. If you could get a big win and knock him out, That's all people want to see, man. At the end of the day, everyone's a sucker for a good knockout. You know, you put together a small, quick little highlight reel, and people are gonna get excited about it. So I say go ahead, fight Chad Dawson. If not Chad Dawson, fight the loser of Lucian Bute versus Jean Pascal. Go ahead and fight the loser. The loser of that fight is going to be in a desperate situation too. Um, and I don't see why Tavares Cloud doesn't have a chance against either of those guys. To be honest, uh, I think he would have a chance against both of those guys. So go ahead and fight the loser, man. So those are both two options that I think are the best options for Tavares Cloud at this point. But yeah, he's just got to put on some exciting fights, man. No one in the world is tuning into Tavares Cloud to watch him win unanimous decisions. I'm sorry, you're not that kind of fighter. So stop going in there with that game plan, and you're just going to have to go in there and put on exciting fights because that's the only way you're going to get pay-per-view dates. It's the only way you're going to make a living in this sport now. You know, so that's just what you're going to have to do. Um, that's just where you're at right now. You know, at the end of the day, when Tavares Cloud is at his best, he's not going to be able to beat the top guys at this division. So at least get yourself in the conversation. Be one of those exciting fighters that people are talking about and that people want to see. You know, so that's my advice for Tavares Cloud. He's got to step his offensive game up, work on his deficiencies, put some effort into the gym, man. Put some real effort in the gym and come back strong and try to fight one of these other guys coming off of a loss. And I don't think he's done yet if he could do what I just said. Um, but like I said, he's got to become more fan friendly. I'm gonna ask you guys: do you guys want to see Tavares Cloud again? What do y'all think about his future in the sport? What should he do next? Peace.